Greetings, everybody. This is Joanna from Universal Love Light, Heavenly Radiance, Shamanic Tarot, and Joanna's Breakthrough series. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's been a huge time of transformation for me. I've been inspired to offer a bit more of my own personal journey, as I always have. That's why I've become so passionate about teaching and offering all that I can. There's so much wisdom that I have within me and so many lifetimes that I'm remembering and bringing through as the culmination of this now lifetime, so that I can help and assist in any way that I can. But to bring it into a more personal perspective, we're going to be doing today a few different videos. This particular video will be just an intimate Ascension conversation, and then we're going to do our collective tribe tarot reading. And so we're excited about that because I have a few new decks that I wanted to present and offer in this connection. And so I wanted to bring this intimate Ascension conversation as a way for all of us to connect and entangle. So please feel free to write any comments that you have. And you can use these intimate conversations as a part of your daily self-care, honoring and sacredness that you co-create with yourself and your soul and your higher self and your teams, as a part of a sacred communion with the collective soul tribe. I often bring forward collective energies that the collective requires to hear and communicate and commune and muse and ponder about. And I also, with the teams that we all call in, the Lord Michael and the Christ Collective, the Elohim, all of the Ascended Masters and the angels that are with us to assist us in our transformation and our transmutating of old parallel timelines and parallel frequencies of belief systems that have held humanity in a limitation. And so we're all being helped through these experiences. But it helps that for me personally, it helps me in part of my growth and expansiveness, as every master will move through an experience, is to bring forward more of an intimate part of who we each are, so that we become more transparent, so that we become more authentic with who we are, and especially when we're going through these huge transformational changes. There's a part in the process through your cycles of change that we've often talked about, whether you're through an awakening stage, an integration process, whether you're clearing and cleansing and healing post or previous traumas or Akashic timelines. And then there's that integration period where you're gathering what's occurred, you're gathering the information, you're gathering the wisdoms and the inspirations that you're feeling and sensing, and then you're able to become that new molding of you. That's the integration period. Is so, I've written about, for me, that awakening to new information is oftentimes, for me, it all works in cohesion of oneness, but for me, it is it's complementary and if not secondary to the integration period, because the integration period is how you choose as a master, and through that heart opening, that's your oneness with source. That's the egg of your oneness as pure love. That integration period calls in everything that you've processed, everything that you've gone through, even the release, releasing through grace and appreciation and gratitude, releasing through the surrender. And that integration allows you to feel all of that. That integration period of, that integration period could be a week, if you will, or a couple of days, or even an hour. But it's through that journaling, it's through that calling in, and that's how you become that lush vessel of allness, because you've allowed yourself to feel the surrender, and how uncomfortable it is for the ego to feel that surrender. And that's what I've been going through from part of my experiences, because moving through the many life experiences that I have, the ego wants to hold you in safety all the time, safety from others, treatment or mistreatment, and all of those experiences that we all move through. Other timelines that come into play, especially for empaths and crystals that carry those energies without even knowing in our fields. And then we wonder why we react and we behave in such ways, because they're always kind of like the monkey on your shoulder that is always trying to keep you in, a defensive mode, because you've carried all of these wounds for so long. And the integration period is part of, well, I don't need those beliefs anymore. It's not serving me to keep carrying these beliefs. I want to live with an open, benevolent heart that's unconditional to all beings at all times. And so I need to leave these beliefs behind. They're not mine. I choose to release them. And that's the release period where you're choosing as the soul now, this is what I choose to be and who I choose to experience myself as, because it's my life, my soul's experience with source, my soul's experience as creating this new earth experience for myself. And I really want to intend these new frequencies of oneness. And that integration process allows you to feel that surrender and how uncomfortable the ego. And it will take, a week for that one surrender, because it will come forward in your dreams as to how you're doing, what else you need to work on, what else you need to realign to, self-love and self-compassion and self-care. And so these intimate sessions of ascension are a part of me moving through that integration process of opening myself up to greater soul tribe, that I love so very much, and love humanity, and I love the ride that we're all on. And that even as traumatic and challenging as it is, and what we face and what we move through together, and opening myself up in a more intimate and authentic way allows all others to see that they're able to move through the darkness, and they're able to move through the shadow energies, and to know that we're all navigating through realms of emotional energies and emotional psyche wounds, that we're all here to heal and to reach out with one another and say, it's okay, we're all healing. And we're all moving through as best as that we can to offer one another the opportunity that the more authentic and true and real we are, we're able to open our hearts in a genuine way where nothing is held back and it's truthful. And that therefore ripples that consciousness inspiration to others. And that's what that fifth dimensional energy is all about. The more truthful and transparent we are, we're not going to be co-creating in systems that we have been in 3D. The systems where things are hidden and things are serving the very few. Things are serving the ego and not necessarily the greater good. And so there's light required in the infrastructure of everything that we're co-creating right now as a soul tribe, regardless of where we're moving in, whether it's banking, whether it's greater healthcare, there's light required in every aspect of our human infrastructure. And that's what my teams were inspiring me with, is that my light is needed within the infrastructure. And that becomes a truthful story. Who am I now based from where I've been and what I've gone through? And how can I share that in a way that will assist others? And opening up our hearts as a one human tribe to say we've all been through the most challenging and, joyful times as well. Because as we open up and the ripple through and break through the veils of those shadow energies, which are all fear-based, because there is only love. And what is not love through that separation has been fear. And that fear creates separation, limitation, subjugation, all of those, anxiety, worry, doubt, violence, all of those things are from that forgetfulness of pure love that we were born as pure love. And through the patternings, through the beliefs, through the socioeconomic programs that we've all come with, programs within our kosh, our mental, emotional, physical, etheric energies fields, the blanket that we all come within, various layers and threads of weaving from many lifetimes, many planets, many galaxies. We're here clearing away through the purity of light, clearing away through the purity of love and acceptance and compassion. And part of that truthfulness and authenticity is that acceptance. When you allow yourself to come fully forward in a truth, in an authentic version of who you are, peeling away the pain and peeling away the beliefs that we've had, regardless of how judgmental and limited they may have been, that's showing us that we can absolutely do this. And what judgments did we hold, and what are we ready to shed now? Because this feels so much better. This version of truth, this version of authentic version of me with source that's ever changing and evolving. The more truthful I want to become, it becomes more rich and it becomes more pure. And that's when you get to that belly of oneness, when you're breathing with the heavens, because the heavens are supporting you in your path to truthfulness. And we say truthfulness not in the way that we've known it in 3D. It's the truthfulness of who you are as that Christ is spirit of light, infinite, eternal. You're infinitely creative. You're infinitely powerful to forgive and to create compassion and to create love. You're infinitely powerful to navigate through anything at any moment and have that moment of surrender be that new truth, because you know that you can handle it. You know that you've traversed density and darkness and challenge and triumph, and you can rise again and again and again. And that's one of my soul's journeys, truth that I'm bringing forward for humanity, that regardless of how challenging any path may seem and be, not only is it this lifetime that I'm able to remember, but other lifetimes that were traumatic. And as a visionary, And as seer, I'm able to see different lifetimes and timelines based on a vibration. And so there's often times where I'm moving through an emotional release. And then if I'm not in that masterful place of calling in the vibrations I so choose, part of that release is to call forward that timeline memory. And it's like a snapshot that I see. And they're not pretty, and they're not fun, you know, but that allows me to release it and heal for that timeline based in this now moment of centering in this love, choosing from the purity of intent to live as love and compassion and forgiveness. That heals that timeline that they're bringing forward to me to say, this is what you're healing to, along with this and this and this. And so this is why we move through those traumatic moments. And oftentimes what I've done, and I've seen myself do, everybody does this, it's just a part of our self-preservation. Self-preservation is where you feel as if you're alone without any safety from anyone, because we've forgotten our connection with source, our higher self, and our soul. So self-preservation is that natural innate energy, especially children that have gone through abuse, that they feel they have to create defenses, and they shut down the heart chakra. They shut down that heart chakra that holds those memories of trauma or connection with loved ones or connection with that first communion of love, and they shut it down because it was too painful for them to remember and co-create with. And so healing the heart chakra and opening it up and revealing the wounds and clearing the wounds allows you to then step into this more authentic truth of who you are. Wow, I can deal with that. I got that. However powerful and challenging it may be, because I've seen myself call forward certain memories. My soul and my higher self will call forward a memory, and I shut it down. I'm not ready to look at it yet. They know I am. But me on this physical body is saying, you know, I've just been through way too much. I just need time to process. I need time to integrate. Allow me to gather my light. Allow me to gather my strength. Allow me to gather my centering, and then give it to me tomorrow. You know, I just need today to recuperate, because it's a constant state of rebalancing, coming back to center, especially if we're taking on the worries and the fears and the concerns of others that are you know, waylaying their discovery of who they are, because there's a lot of thought projections, and there's a lot of energies that are being propelled from those that are resisting their awakening. And if you're not having those boundaries up, you can sense and feel them and take them on as your own, and they're not. And that's why that daily clearing is so important. So I have some coffee. It's my unicorn cup. It's actually my daughter's. I bought her the unicorn cup. I use it every day. She's always wondering. She's always wondering where her cup is. Mommy's, well, I love unicorns. And so, what I wanted to talk about today in my more spiritual version of me is offering myself as a beautiful spiritual teacher and leader and healer. I am a Christed healer. I have so many gifts. My teams keep telling me I have so many gifts, and I'm so very skilled. And I have such great efficiency and resourcefulness and leadership and management. I mean, all these things that I've done in my lifetime thus far, I didn't realize that they would be playing a part in what I'm stepping into next, but they will. You know, working as, you know, various roles in the banking system for like 13 years in management and lending and sales, and, you know, helping people, you know, manage their portfolio, and, you know, working in retail management, and managing, managing and doing what I've done, and then raising a family at the same time, and moving through my spiritual experiences, was my passion. You know, once I was awakened and started moving into my spirituality, it was all I wanted to do. But now they're showing me that those threads of everything I've done is now pulling me into these new co-creations, which is a part of the soul tribe co-creation in our fifth dimensional frequencies. And we can look back. I always say this, I've written in my books, is the greatest part about awakening is when you look back and see why something happened the way it did, why you were led to certain things the way that you were, because they're adding to those skills that you need now. They're adding to the experiences of, you know, leading groups of others to their highest and their best. We become leaders so that others become leaders. We become teachers so that others become teachers. You know, we become parents so that others can become great parents and great beings of love and compassion. And that's what is allowing us the expansiveness and the consciousness that we do have right now. But part of what I wanted to bring forward was part of my authentic sharing of who I am. I am Joanna. This is who I am. And I've been here for 51 years. And although I remember throughout my days and throughout my co-creation and my sharing, I remember Gaia in many multidimensional ways as I walk about the earth and I co-create with her at a heart level, as well as I do humanity. And as I've offered before in my Ascension offerings, is that I can see myself moving in and about different timelines right now. And we're all doing this, perhaps in the more awakened and attuned you are to your subtle fields and your subtle bodies and your connection with your higher self, your third eye, and your I am presence, your God, I am presence is the divine mind. And you're aligning with that in your daily self-care, you can allow yourself to be present in this multidimensional movement of love that we're all moving in. We're threading and we're weaving great threads of beautiful light and love. And those aspects of you that are on these other realms are help pulling you up through threads of love and pearls of wisdom that they drop for you and you drop for you, because it's all you, just in other versions. And your passion and your joy, which we often forget, is that right here and right now we can create the greatest light. But we often forget that we also hold all of those skills and why we've chosen the jobs and the careers that we have to remind us, to reignite with us. My kids often tell me, and I remember saying the same thing too, why would I ever need this? What is this ever going to serve me in life? And I can now say, well, absolutely it will. You know, you might not think that trigonometry means anything right now, but you have no idea how it's going to serve you. It might not be the actual skill itself, but it might be the teacher or the instructor or the one that you sit next to, and that will serve you. And I remember back in my childhood, this beautiful, beautiful soul that was always sat next to me. And there was varying social maladies that he carried with him as a soul contract. And I just saw the beauty of his soul, and I would feel compelled to be his guardian. And you know, I would come to his aid, you know, when he was getting teased and things like that. But he taught me so much as far as the joy of being who he was. He was just so beautifully accepting for who he was and how he shared his creative gifts. He was an amazing artist, and he had such the most amazing imagination, and others couldn't understand his process and how he went about in his life. Back then, there was no differentiation and segmenting various conditions that we have now. And so we can see how we've changed and how we've transmuted, but how our society is always still looking to define and segment and put in boxes the varying differences that we all have, which is what we're moving away from. But looking back in our lifetime, we see that these beautiful souls are placed with us here and there, and we meet them here and there, even if it's a moment at a coffee shop, so that we can become and remember who we are at a soul level, because we're threaded at all of these levels beyond what we can see and imagine. As our awakening continues, we will be able to see and feel. I see myself calling this into me now because it's important for someone in the audience that's allowing me to share this story at a higher vibrational level, to know that everything before you is purposeful. Every experience you're going through allows you to learn and call forward your strength and your wisdom, even in the most challenging moments. So that the whole of you, that beautiful dodecahedron and that beautiful sphere and that beautiful Merkaba, can activate those crystalline remembrances of your soul's strength, of your soul's unconditional love, of your soul's unconditional compassion, because you're holding them in your allness. Except the veils that we come with and we cover ourselves with through protection, through not sharing ourselves, through the self-preservation, those veils need to be broken through love and compassion and acceptance. And sometimes what we've been through and what we're carrying with us have not been pretty. You know, the judgments we've held about others, how we've judged ourselves and demeaned ourselves and not allowed ourselves to be the stars that we are, which my teams are constantly showing me. You know, reach higher. You give yourself what we see in you. You know, this is what we see in you. And I'm like, what? You're crazy. This is just no. And they're like spirits going, we kind of know what we're talking about. I'm like, okay, I guess you do, but really, me? You know, and I've got to work my way into it because it's something that we've completely not used to. I mean, who's told us that we were perfect and loved and we were so brilliant and we've got all these amazing wisdoms and genius skills within us? And we have to be that for ourselves, so that our children and all of the collective can be it, becoming authentic in who we are as infinite intellectual beings of divine wisdom, infinite beings of compassion and acceptance and love, so that we heal everything that's being filtered in and around these ever transmuting moments. And the more truthful and authentic we are, living in our truth each moment, whether it's changing an eating habit, changing what's going on within the household, getting up extra early so that you can clear your house, setting these new sacred experiences that are more truthful to what your soul is aching for, to become that communion and that living breath with the heavens that we're now creating upon earth. And so part of this acceptance and truthfulness and authenticity for me is to claim and honor and declare who I am. You know, it's part of that sacred process to do it with my soul tribe now, which, as many of you know, that many of my healings and my sharings have been about for the collective. And, you know, it's been, I've kept my personal experiences to a great degree very personal and very sacred to me and very private. And I will continue to keep some very private. But what we're offering now is that the authenticity and the sharing of who I am as a heart being, as a human, as a star being, as a star mother, as a crystalline child, as an empath, whatever I choose to define myself in any one moment that's expansive and infinite, a Christic being of light. To be more truthful and authentic about my personal story and what I've gone through as a person, so that I can reach out in a heartfelt way as a human to all those that are also moving through similar journeys, and knowing that you can move through them with great, profound strength, and how we've held ourselves back with such limitation and lack of who we are. And my personal story was carrying through many lineage suppressions about the divine feminine, not feeling confident and secure about who we are, moving into relationships that limit us in a way of our divine innateness of who we are, standing within our self-acceptance and our self-authenticity. And oftentimes we attract unknowingly those relationships that have those same similar wounds. And we mirror those to each other until we move through that awakening process where each of us grow individually. And there's so many different experiences through life, because some will awaken at different times and different measurements and different soul journeys, because every soul has a different temperament and soul unification. This is what we're awakening to in the 5D. It's knowing that we're all one, we're all threaded, we're all connected, and our souls will require different experiences so that that maximum amount of growth can potentiate. And why there's so many people moving through great soul changes right now, family changes, relationship changes, sexuality changes. So many people are just shedding what is no longer serving because they felt as if they were hidden in a closet of definition that didn't suit who they were. They took it on because it was lineage. They took it on because it was a cost. They took it on because it was societal. And part of the awakening process is to really pull back all the clothes until you're truly naked in front of who you are and say, this is not who I have been, and this is who I am now. And I will be authentic and I will be truthful. I have nothing to hide. And when you can say that, and with truth and with honor, with greater appreciation and sacredness, yet that has been my journey. It was so tough. It was so tough. You know, and there was times where I was hanging by a thread, bringing myself back from the brink. And the only way that I can say that is because of spirit. Absolutely. More than times I can count, I've been hanging by the brink and I've been brought back by spirit. No, you know, my teams are saying it was you. I give that all to spirit. I'm awakening again. Letting go of just wasn't me. All the things that we hide behind, you know, because you don't feel like you're safe. People won't honor the heart and the preciousness that your heart is. And within my story, it was heartbreak after heartbreak after heartbreak. Every time I would put myself out there, it would just be broken again and again and again. And then you get so hard and you get so calloused, pushing people away. And the part of awakening is just to break it through again and again and again. So I'm coming through with a new self-acceptance, that it's okay to share who I am. It's okay to be personal. This is what this whole ride is about, is it not? A personal journey of oneness, personal journey of sharing our hearts, connecting in a more deep level, because that's what my heart really aches for. I ache for emotional intimacy, I ache for emotional sharing. I ache for that emotional connection with my soul tribe and to know that it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. You got this. And I'm here for you. I'm here for you. So share yourself. Share yourself and reach out, because there's people that are loving you from a distance that might not even know that you need help or care or kindness. And oftentimes it's just that authenticity to know, and you're standing more firmly in your power, just to phone people up and say, I need a hug today. Can you just send me a virtual hug? You know, this is what I'm going through and this is what I need. I'm not pouring this onto you. I just need to know that you're there for me and you love me. I don't want judgment. You know, I don't want any, you know, I don't want any money. I don't want anything to come to me other than just tell me that you love me. You know, tell people what you need. Tell people how you need it. You know, I'm opening my heart to you and this is what I need from you. Are you able to give it? Are you ready? That way you're opening up into these really truthful conversations and you're allowing yourself to be vulnerable. You're allowing yourself to be intimate. This is what I need today. This is what I need from you. Are you able to provide it for me? That's how you become more rich and real with one another, and you offering this sacred flow of source creator, so that it's not held back and it's not presumed, it's not assumed, it's not judged, it's not filtered through veils of inaccurate judgment, of old density and old paradigms of beliefs. You're allowing yourself to be born new every moment. And every day you wake up, visualize yourself coming out of that chrysalis. Today I will be new. I walk as an open vessel of unconditional love, and I love myself first. I ground in this new body. I am so beautiful. I am so loved. I am so precious. I have so many gifts and so many skills, and I'm going to share myself truthfully. There's nothing to hide. And as things come up, I will face it truthfully. I will say, that was a judgment I held yesterday. I understand why this is coming to me, and I release it with pure love and compassion, because this is who I want to be. I want to completely, every moment, live in truth. Truth is the light of who you are as source, every moment. Every moment. And then that moment gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's when I said the other day, where we live as the breath of life and the breath of the heavens. That's what that life force means. Because there's nothing holding you back. This flow of the source lives through you. And it's authentic, it's true, and it's real. The more that you're real with yourself and releasing the densities within your bodies, whether it's taking imprints and energies on from others, unknowingly, most often because nobody really understands, that subtle energy is impactful. And we'll talk about that in a different video, because I keep meaning to bring this up as a topic because it's so really important about infusion. The environments that are around you are so very important, that we be more selective and clearing and being more aware of the environments and those that we select to be with us. And we don't mean that in a way of separation. It's not meant that at all. What it is meant is that being selective about the core vibration that you choose to operate within, therefore attracting it within your environments. Because we innately become the energy of all that is around us. And we say that in the way that we are driving the environment. So how can we be selective about our thoughts? Really be selective about what thoughts you're thinking. This is what the rest of 2020 is about. Really be selective about your core vibration, how good it feels to be truthful, how good it feels to be happy. Choose that happiness, choose that joy. That core vibrational choice allows you to select from the all. And that's what we mean by selective. I'm choosing to select happiness. I choose happiness and joy for myself. I choose to awaken within happiness and love. Because those energies will create that new environment for you, creating the reality. That new 5D reality. You're always aligning to those higher vibrations that you choose to harmonize within. And then therefore transmuting all else. And really be selective about what put on the table and sort out what's not working. You know, I choose to live in a very high vibration of truth. You know, where is everybody at here? And are you in? You know, where are we going with this? And then you're allowing everyone their free will to move at their soul's pace, which is full self-acceptance. I accept you fully where you are. I accept where your path is. This is where mine is. And I hope that you accept my path as well, because I choose to move in this way now. You know, without judgment, without dissension or separation. And so that's the process that everybody's working through. And just know that everybody will have to move through their own timing of acceptance, because your level of acceptance and transmuting energies is not the same as everybody else's, and allow that to be. So this is where we're getting to today with my personal sharing. Let's have some more coffee. I love morning coffee. It's my most favorite thing. It's a personal thing with me. I love my first cup of coffee. I've been having some dreams lately about seeing myself perceiving different energies and different behaviors within the collective through new eyes. Because that's part of what I'm working on as I step up into greater service, is to be unconditional and accepting of all behaviors, even though every moment that's a part of awakening. That's what we understand oneness to be. But my particular stage of where I'm at right now is acceptance, full acceptance. Acceptance of what has been, acceptance of things you cannot change, acceptance of things that we hold so dear to our hearts that we cannot change. And as a mother, as having certain roles and definitions that I've grown up within, that I've ached for so dearly, that beautiful happy home with happy children running around and everywhere, and creating circumstances that are not that, accepting that that was my life's journey for these reasons. And that's part of the integration process. That these were dreams and visions that I held as a youth that were placed upon me by my lineage. That the women did certain things, the women held certain roles, the women held certain subjugations to the men, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Part of my soul's purpose is to break those, regardless of how challenging or how hard it is, and why I pulled certain relationships and people into my experience so that I could experience what my lineage did, and I can choose to break free from it. And I can heal those wounds at the same time because I've held them in different energies at different timelines in various, very challenging ways of subjugation. I could write books about what I've remembered. But those memories were brought forward to see these are what other people are living. These are the densities and these are the levels of subjugation that people actually experience. I've lived a very lighter experience of subjugation in this lifetime, but I feel the pain, and I have to heal the wounds of all those lifetimes where it was as traumatic, very traumatic in subjugation, persecution, and just so many that we have no idea about, but why we're here to help heal the collective, especially the children's collective that are moving to coming to the forefront of the traumas that they have lived through. And we're here to heal it. That's our responsibility. We're here to heal our collective by each and every one of us coming forward and being truthful and authentic and seeing that the dreams are guiding us. Where are you holding judgments, and how can you fully accept what is, even if you don't like it? That's unconditional love, unconditional compassion, and forgiveness. Accepting everything as you are. How are you? And there were so many things that I had held at bay because it wasn't nice to look at. That's what we move through. You can't only look at the things you like about yourself. You have to look at it all. That's the shadow and the inner child and the psyche wounds that we're all healing. And so this one dream last night was showing me, I was running I was running this beautiful retreat property, and and there was this couple that had come in from out of town, and we had horses for them to ride, and it was snowing, and there was beautiful sacred animals everywhere. And my way that I walk about life is the sacred connection with all things. And the people that had come to see us, they did not perceive that at all. They were disconnected from that sacredness. And I was watching them move and behave about the earth that was that had held me in judgment of their behavior. And I had seen it. I said, wow. And there was a judgment within me that had come up. And at that same time as I could feel that judgment coming forward, to say that because what I'm moving through is the unconditional acceptance of sacredness of who I am. And so I hope this comes back around in the story that I'm sharing with you, because I'm just seeing it now as they're pulling it to me. The unconditional sacredness of who I am was being shown to me in that dream. How was what I had moved through in the past 2 years in trying to manage the emotional disruption that myself and my family had been through, and the judgments that I had held about those experiences and not accepting it, and what this couple were showing me, and my viewing them and their behavior completely in oneness with Source Creator, but my heart was aching for that sacredness and behavior of loving communion and sacredness and joy and just temperance, that beautiful sacred flow of source and sacredness and honoring and valuing and appreciating. Those are the energies I'm moving back into, because this past 2 years have been about managing the emotional disruption of everybody around me, including myself, and what I was co-creating, trying to manage and keep in control. And so what my higher self and my soul teams were showing me is that and it was funny because in my dream, my higher self and me were communing at that version of me that was walking with them in the dream and seeing them behave in certain ways. And I was observing. I was the observer. And my higher self in the dream was showing me, you're holding judgments about what you have moved through in a perspective that was holding you separate from it, because you weren't accepting it fully, because there was parts of it that you weren't meant to change. And that's just the acceptance part that each of us move through in our life. We will each move through, because this is a part of mastery. It's a part of unconditional love. We're not meant to fix everything we're entangled with. And that was part of one of my soul's major themes. It's not my responsibility to fix anything. It's my responsibility to be as joyful and as loving and as free and as flowing as I am. And just trusting in the process that everyone is meant to move through their path. I'm not meant to manage it. I'm not meant to control it. I'm not meant to direct it. I'm not meant to manipulate it. And that's a part of mastery that each light worker and master has to work within, especially leaders, because leaders are here not to manipulate and control. That's the old version of our reality. That's subjugation in every way. Leaders are here to inspire and empower and encourage, and trust absolutely that everything will flow in divine timing, and knowing that their soul's journey is to experience exactly what they're meant to. Can you accept it? Can you allow it? And can you honor what is going on? It doesn't mean you have to be okay with it. You can say, I'm having a challenge with how the not seen of respect with Gaia. But their souls aren't there yet. They're getting there, and they have to move through those experiences. Just like riding a bike. You don't know how to ride the bike until you fall down a few times. And so part of the full acceptance, just as me viewing my life and what has happened throughout my timelines, we don't understand the full capacity and the richness and the envelopment of light until we've moved through all those shadows and healing them, and knowing that there will always be light. We always return to center with the pure intention, I will be light today. Today I will love myself, I will accept myself, I will honor myself, I will be truthful. Because we need those moments of self-reflection and realignment. I'm integrating this judgment right now. And it's okay that they're exactly where they are. I don't have to fix them. I don't have to fix their path. I don't have to show them their truth. Their truth is up to them to find and sort out and navigate and explore. That's the beauty of awakening. Every person has their unique path to explore and work through their own forest and their own jungle of what they've created. And it's all beautiful. Some parts of the jungle are very dense and scary. You don't know what's behind it. You've created in other lifetimes. You create it. You can move your way through it. And that's what I've been able to see. And so, I'm just seeing that part of my dream was allowing me that deeper acceptance of who I am. What judgments was I holding myself in responsibility for all others in the circle? That's not my responsibility. I release that now. I transmute it. That's not my responsibility. They will have their path that's perfect for them. As hard as it was for me to let that responsibility go, that's not mine. Part of that responsibility releasing, putting the violet flame on those cords and releasing them, is that recreating of new lineage, potentiality, and a higher vibration for the divine feminine. What roles and subjugations were we held to as the mother, if you will, and whose and how arbitrary are those definitions? Who says that a mother has to be this particular definition? Why can't I rewrite motherhood in the sacredness of who I am now? I choose to. And so this is my strength. This is my power. This is my new truth. It doesn't have to look like what it's looked like before, because that was very suppressive, taking on the thought forms and the projections of society, the thought forms and projections of lineage that were held in subjugation. They weren't allowed to follow their creative joys and their creative expression, their spiritual expression. And as a human sovereign being, we each have the highest potential to move within the highest impact areas of our joys and excitements and creativity that we want to show our children as well. We want them to be their highest expression without definitions and rules to say, no, you've got to come back. You can't do that. This is how it should look. That's where leadership is being transformed and transmuted so that we are fully authentic within our own truth. And so I woke up this morning, I'm thinking, wow, that dream was, it doesn't matter how long I've been at Ascension and what I've learned and how I've moved through it. I'm constantly being shown back to the basics. You're at a point now in your Ascension, Joanna, where your role is to lead through unconditional love, acceptance, and joy for you. For you. Allow yourself the acceptance to be unconditionally, unapologetically you. Unapologetically. And you'll attract exactly what you need. You'll attract that 5D job that's calling you in for all the skills that you have and you own and you master. And you're allowing yourself to shine brightly. You're allowing yourself to not take responsibility for others. You're allowing yourself just to let go of all the cords that you thought you had to manage and look after. Because as a child, from my childhood, I was brought up in a dysfunctional, template, alcoholism and dysfunction in various ways, in various, traumas, emotional traumas moving through. And that kept me at, as an empath and as a crystal child, part of the contracts that I was holding was to fix it for everyone, to be that light vibration within the house of chaos that everybody would pull light from. And I would be the mediator of different emotional situations going on in the house to try and fix and temper and, manage. And so I carried that into my relationships, being the light giver and the fixer of everyone's problems, or so I thought, that's the role that I thought I had to play. And so now it's becoming at this global energy and capacity where you're understanding that I'm only in charge of me. I am only in charge of my core vibration, my core truth, my core passions, my core excitement, and allowing all else to unfold perfectly and divinely, because it will. And that's our unconditional trust that we're one with Source. We are Source. Trusting that they will have their truth come forward. They will have their beliefs come forward, and it will be truly, purely theirs. Not controlled by me, not dictated by me, not fixed by me. And this is where I've been empowering my kids for many, many years now, is giving them the information, giving them the wisdom and the intelligence that I've gained and earned through my whole history and everything that I understand to be true, because that's part of my soul, because I'm a teacher at heart. And then, my son came to me one day and said, "Are you sure, I'm going to need all this information?" And I said, well, it's not only been shown in studies that if you don't provide your children that honest communication, that they'll seek it through other realms and other ways, and then they'll be in a situation where they don't have the information they need to make that choice in a responsible and valued way that's true for them. So my goal is, as a parent and someone that empowers you and inspires you, is to give you as much information within what you need at this moment, so that you can walk away knowing who you are. If you're ever in a position that you need that inner truth, that you listen to who you are within, scan the information that you have sought on your own, that you've heard and learned from others, that you've seen in your world, and that you make that very calculated, honoring, and sacred decision within who you are. Because what I found is not providing them information, and again, you don't want to provide them with too much, and it's always age appropriate, and it's always within their soul's temperament, and it's feeling within their readiness, right? But as they get older and older and older and older, ready to move out into the world and make their own decisions, giving them the information so that that's that storytelling and that sacred shamanic storytelling that we used to do in when I was listening to my granny in the living room when I was little, listening to their stories. And we've lost that through the ages. I remember it, and I bring it forward to my kids when we sit down and we have meals, and I talk about the stories that my grannies told me, my grandpa told me, spending much time with them and just talking and sharing. And so that when they're in those moments, they have those wisdoms, the information, they have that toolkit, to make that decision that's right for them. They get to choose through their beliefs. I said, I'm giving you this information to empower, inspire, and encourage you. You get to mold it how you choose. You are an independent sovereign being. You get to choose what that means for you. You get to choose as you move about life how you choose to use that information and mold it for yourself and your creativity and your mastery. You are a genius. Just know that you've got that within you, and pull all of those creative energies for your space and your time and how you want to co-create with Gaia. And not for me to dictate what's right and wrong. You can see how you feel within the world, and you can see what feels good for you and what doesn't feel good for you. Trust that. Trust your inner knowing, trust your inner guidance system, trust your inner compass, and use the information with discernment. Use the information with how it means for you, and then you get to move as the master that you are. That's the greatest gift we can give our children, is to empower them to be their master, their leader, so that they're not relying on anybody else. They use that discernment from within, and they pull all that they can, because they're very multidimensional. They can sense, feel, and hear things beyond what we're just giving them in paper. So allow that to be communicated. You have far more guidance and wisdom that I'm offering it as empowerment, inspiration, and also part of my lineage stories. And then you choose what fits for you and leave what doesn't. And so part of that dream was showing me the idea that really letting go and cutting those cords of lineage expectation, lineage definition, societal limitations that really hold us in limitation of who our light really is and how we're able to shine and be forward in our truth. Come forward as a full shining light of our truth. And so what the teams gave me this morning was August is the August energies. It's really a manifestation month to see how we are flowing infinitely. And that's the infinity. Are we opening up and allowing the flow of who we are as source truthfully to come forward? And whatever we're being shown, whatever we call in to see at a face value, own it, accept it, and let it go. You get to choose from that integration of what's being shown to you. Okay, this is what I'm learning from that. This is what I can integrate from that. This is how I can see it operating in my life now. And this is really what I want to take from that. And now I'm going to flow. And so August is a month for us to open up and to see how we can really creatively flow within the creator energy, being that truthful, authentic version of who we are. Whatever it is that we face, we know that we're going to move through it because we have the skills and the gifts and the wisdom to do so, and we can let ego just relax and live as spirit. And they're also talking that we mentioned before, just adjusting the light there. They are being selective about our core vibration. When you wake up, is your vibration, before your eyes even open? Today, I operate as an unconditional vessel of love. I will show myself love. I will allow myself to feel love. I will allow myself to rest. I will allow myself to be truthful and honoring in all moments. How do you want to align yourself in each moment? And that self-care really helps. Because remember, that core vibration calls in, that's what you're co-creating within the universe. So be selective. Be selective. That is your, that is the blessing. That's the blessing of sovereignty. You get to choose what you call in. You don't have to be, I guess, a victim of old circumstances. It's your vibration that really is creating your reality. What Bashar always used to say is that circumstances don't matter. It's your vibration. Your vibration dictates, so let that be your focus. Focus on your vibrational intention. Focus on your vibrational dreaming and creativity. And just let whatever is going on in this now moment to be a part of the transmuting of what you've been, the beliefs that you've had. Because remember, there is still that time-space experience of that transmutation of what was, until you're shedding off that chrysalis always to what your now version is. And that's the part of transmutation. We might think that an awakening process to a new idea is just momentary. It's instantaneous. Yes, sometimes so. But larger parts of transmutation, where you're actually transmuting shadow aspects that are lineage deep, not just one lifetime, not just one moment or one experience. It's 50 lifetimes. The divine feminine has been suppressed for eons. It's been misrepresented. It's been suppressed. It's been occulted. So, and everybody's healing the divine feminine. Everybody. It doesn't matter whether you're male or female. It doesn't matter, because we all have those balancing that we have to move through. And if it's imbalanced and distorted, that's when you find the the emotional body really out of balance, because that's the divine feminine, is being in creative flow and allowance and receptivity of your emotional body. That's the divine feminine. And that's what so many men and masculine energies are here healing as well, is how can I bring my divine feminine into balance with my divine masculine? Because if it's not in balance, it becomes very egoic. And that's when you co-create ego. It's all about power, and it's all about power. So if it's in balance, that power works in great wisdom with flow and receptivity. It's meant to be in balance. And that's what we're here learning as a collective. And the divine feminine is coming forward for that nurturance, for that ability to fully acknowledge, aware, and be acceptance of the emotional, what word are they bringing to me? The emotional richness of who we are as humans, so that we're more truthful when we're connecting at a deep level. We're offering our hearts at a collective level, so that we're calling in those emotional engagements that we really want to entangle at a deep and rich level. And this allows us to have that continuity of higher vibrational experiences. Because if we're living in that flow of source, we're not allowing what was to keep us pulled back into the past. We can let it go and say, that's a part of what I'm transmuting. It might hang around for a little while, and then it's going to keep rising as I continue to focus on my core vibration of happiness and joy. I love you unconditionally. I honor you unconditionally, but I really want to focus on happiness and joy. And to just allow those energies to transmute. Again, not by controlling it, not by wanting to fix it, not by going to everybody's aid, but just allowing them their pace and their journey to transmute what they need to transmute, and allow themselves to navigate their jungle. And their jungle is meant to the most beautiful, divine, the most precious energies we have on our planet are the jungles that are being devastated. So allow it to be that. There is such richness and there's such lush diversity within what we've created. They're so diverse and so rich with growth. And that's what they were wanting to show me, is the beauty in the duality. There's such beauty and richness, because we can't be anything if we are not moving through the diversity and the richness and the density of who we are. There's so much there. And even if you take, they're just showing me now, even if we take an experience, again, from a past experience, and we don't want to do this all the time, but they're just showing me that if I take something from the past that was a valuable lesson, if you will, that I will see it from an even more rich value now. Again, that's moving through the brush of the density of the forest. It's beautiful, it's lush. There's species and there's energies in there that we don't even have names for. And it's us. How we see it from any one moment, because again, we're infinite at our levels of perception. It's how we perceive and how we move about our experience. That core vibration will guide us. Then we perceive that experience as something different. And wow, you get to pull away a new gem. You get to pull away a new beautiful aspect that's now you, adding to the richness and the pressing out of who you are. And that's the continuity of raising your vibration by not judging it. That's what's really important. Go back to that to say, there's something there. I know it just keeps pulling me back. So what is this? And just contemplate within it. Don't review the story. Review the experience of the vibration that's calling you back. And it might be like this morning, for me, it was acceptance. So, okay, I'm going to contemplate about acceptance. And the other day it was about anger. They said, contemplate anger. Okay. What about that? What about that situation that was making you feel that vibration? And I thought, okay, well, it's because I had a belief that I thought I was subjugated by that experience. I thought that I was held back by that experience. And they're saying, and as soon as I thought it, I felt the release of the experience. I released it because I acknowledged it. I said, wow, that's so not my truth. Not that it's not my truth, but it's not real. It's an illusion. But my team said, if you just contemplate that for 10 seconds, you'll see that that's not what it was. That you were reliving that karmic cycle. It was a karmic cycle. And I just said, I choose, okay, done. It was within seconds. And I was, oh my gosh, I can't believe that. That's been causing me so much inner turmoil. Because I had held myself back from feeling that anger. But what I didn't, I realized it because I could feel it in my field, because I'm able to feel that anger was connected with many, many lifetimes. And that's why that anger had cropped up in me, because I said, well, in this lifetime, I have no real reason to feel angry. stub my toe and I'm dropping groceries everywhere. But your body will do that until you deal with it. I tell that to my kids all the time. If you're not dealing with your emotions, you're going to manifest something that will make you stop and deal with it. Are you sad? How are you feeling? Every day, how am I feeling? Well, that thing that person said really ticked me off. Okay, so deal with it. Why are you angry? Well, because they didn't respect me. They didn't show me that respect that I have for myself. Well, you can't control others, but as long as you hold that respect for yourself, you don't have to carry. It's so, I'm laughing about it now, but I held that for lifetimes. Of course, I'm not saying that that's as quick as it is. I'm not giving it that representation at all because I understand the process of ascension. But I'm able to look at it, and within seconds. This is not every time. I'm just, again, everyone that knows what I offer, I don't ever blanket anything because I understand and I have great respect for every process. I absolutely do. I've been everywhere and back again twice and 3 times. But I had held that anger within me, and it's caused such turmoil within me because I didn't want to face that anger because I thought that's not who I am. I'm not angry. As a child, I was always told that certain emotions were not okay. And I had repressed so many things, again, in all other lifetimes. And anger was one of those energies that we all have to face. We have to face it. What am I feeling angry about this? Or am I frustrated? Or what am I feeling? What is that energy? And so that's where that contemplative, integrative process is so valuable. And it becomes rich. Because then you say, okay, then you get to pinpoint and tune. Okay, right now I'm feeling a little anxious because I'm not sure what's going to unfold. That's a whole part of this new 5D energy, is being okay about what's unknown. There's so much that we don't know, and you're just surrendering into spirit unconditionally. Spirit's got your back. Spirit will never take you into something that is not okay. Spirit will take you into those lessons and those soulful experiences that you can see through your dreams. Say, okay, I understand why that came to me. I was holding a judgment. It's not for me to fix. It's not for me to dictate how they should move through their experience. They're going to move through what they need to move through. I can't control that, and I don't want to. And it's not my responsibility. I'm releasing myself from the responsibility of having to fix it for people because it's not my jam. But it's always that continuity. And if we allow ourselves to open, just accept and be truthful and authentic, facing whatever needs to be faced, whatever that emotion is, whether it's fear, being afraid, not having enough food in the fridge, whatever it might be, face it. Just say, okay, this is it. And I'm going to connect with source. I'm going to say, someone's going to bring me groceries. Something's going to happen. I trust in God. Source will provide. Let go of the fear. It's an illusion. And so my team said, once you face that anger, it doesn't have any control over you. You don't have to keep calling in experiences because that is not resolved. Because that's what happens. We hold it in our field, we hold it in our body until we keep calling in experiences, just like soulmates and just like people in our experience, we keep calling them in because we're not dealing with that self-value and self-worth issue. Okay, well, that was making me angry because that was a judgment that I held that came from someone else, and that's not who I am. And it made me angry that they showed that to me, they mirrored it to me, and I get to say, that's not me anymore. I release that anger. It's not who I am. That was a false subjugation. That was a false belief. That was a false myth. That was a mistruth because I am perfect. I am pure source. So that's what's held within us that needs to be cleared. And it will come to us in our daily reality and face us. Then we get to say, okay, well, that's not who I am anymore. That anger, it turns to laughter and joy because it's so rich. I get to be me now. And anger is something that so many light workers are uncomfortable with. They're just uncomfortable with it. And oftentimes too, we're going to talk about this in the infusion video, oftentimes you're transmuting anger, again, for the collective and for those that are in your circle, because they don't know how to process it. They're not in balance and flow with their emotional bodies. And you're processing the anger for them. And that's part of your attunement and discernment. And part of the integration process is this even mine? That doesn't feel like mine. That doesn't feel like a vibration that's mine, but I will clear it. Clear and cleanse, clear and cleanse, clear and cleanse. This is who I am now. This is what I choose to create my core vibration with. That's my continuity now. My new continuity vibration is joy and happiness. And no matter what, I choose to be joy today because I'm worthy of it. I'm worthy of a relationship that honors me. I'm worthy to call in those that love me and care about me. I'm worthy of those to love me unconditionally, to know that it's a journey of life force flow. That as I give, I will receive, and as I offer and I honor, I will receive. And I want others to honor that and reciprocate it to me. Um, and to hold truth and compassion and love for all those, regardless of what you see. And that was part of the global collective experience that they wanted me to bring forward, regardless of what unfolds before us, because there will be other things that come as the higher consciousness raises, these mistruths and energies that are wanting to come forward for cleansing and clearing, for us to hold compassion and know that we're going to get through this. We're going to have a new continuity of vibration, because that's what it does. Mistruth and density comes forward for us to face and deal with, own and accept, and create a new continuity with. That's when our creative Christic toolkit comes forward and we begin to create new ways that are higher vibrational, not held within subjugation and fear and limitation and control. And again, being selective every moment. How do I choose to move about? How do I choose to create my core vibration, because I'm adding the vibration to the planet? Do I want it to be fearful or filled with anxiety, or do I want it to be joyful? I'm going to be truthful with who I am, and it might make others feel uncomfortable, but that's okay. That's their forest and their navigation they have to move through, and why it's making them feel uncomfortable. But this is my truth. And then you will begin to call others of that higher similar truth as well, because it's all vibrational alignment. It's all vibrational alignment. So don't hold back from being the joy and the truth of who you are. Allow yourself to come forward fully and shine. Allow yourself to become fully in alignment with your highest truth. And knowing that your truth is your greatness. It really is, because that truth paves for your great light to come forward and pave the way for your new continuity, your new vibrational experience that you're creating. And so I hope that you've enjoyed this this morning offering of intimate Ascension conversation, and wanting to share myself more intimately of who I am, and the path that I've taken has been so very beautiful. And haven't been able to say that in all moments. It's been the most incredible timeline that I can experience, moving through tremendous navigational fields of energy and vibration that I've ever experienced. My teams have often said, your soul is so powerful to do what you've done and move through. And it would probably take me over 100 books to write everything that I've experienced in this one lifetime. And I'm so very grateful. And I say it with the greatest amount of respect for the heavens and the spirit that have guided me from the brink so many times. And just know that our society and our collective and our global family, we're co-creating greatness within every moment that we can come forward and say, I'm just having a really tough day. Can you just provide me with some space, or ask for what you need? Start speaking your truth. Start speaking what your emotions are guiding you to. My emotions, I just need some space. I just need some love. I just need some compassion. I just need a lot of hugging today. Speak what your emotions are allowing you to feel into. That way we live a more truthful life, and those that are willing to give it will give it, and those that are willing to not live it will move away, because you're attracting those of the vibration that are willing to give it and be with you. And that's just the vibrational alignment that everybody is being more selective about. And that's what they were talking about. August will be a greater selective month about the core vibration you choose to experience. It's not about anything else, because it will align vibrationally automatically, truthful, purely, that's source. But it's being selective about what you choose to co-create in your moment as a selective vibration. What do I choose? You can be selective. There's infinite number of vibrations to choose. I want to be co-creative today. Today I really want to paint. I want to explore. I want to be an adventurer. What is it that you're wanting to select for yourself? Be that vibration in every way, every thought, every word, every deed. I'm going to be a creator. I'm going to be the adventurer. What is that vibration that's driving you to create that reality? And get excited about it. It's you. You've earned it. And just allow yourself to know that, and have that as your truth, as your core truth. Those in your circle, as we're going through big transitional times for families and for those that are moving in, moving through separation or divorce or any of those family transitions that we all move through, because everybody is transitioning. It's what the souls are meant to do. Their souls are calling them in different directions, and it's a divine orchestration, as we've taught from the very first book. Everything is a divine orchestration. Everything is happening for a reason. Everything that's brought to you is for a reason, for you to see the truth of it, that we are all connected, we are all one, and your soul will guide you to other prospects of your highest soul's potentiality. and you will call in and you will gather and you will commune in those ways. That is that soul vibration, because we're creating this on higher realms of experience. It's this now physical body that is catching up with the spirit aspect of it, if you will. And that's why we have to let go of all the limiting beliefs and the reality experiences that have seemed so very real, but they're not. We'll talk about that in another video, because it's really profound and way out there. And so know that there will be great changes for everybody, and that's okay. Our schools will be different, our society will be different. So have excitement and joy about it, and look forward to it. Have that eagerness and excitement about what's coming that's unknown. Trust what your guides are guiding you to, because it's your soul's destiny. It's your soul's calling to move through. You're meant to be in joy. You're meant to fall in love deeply and richly. You're meant to express yourself deeply and richly. You're meant to see yourself as the highest truth of who you are as source. That's what we're meant to. We're meant to be free and liberated. We're meant to explore new realms. We're meant to express greater realities of potentiality for our children, for our collective. We're meant to care for and reach out in our highest truth. And the value of who we are as spirit, to really breathe in the heavens of spirit. I'm being honest and truthful with you right now. And I'm honoring myself in this moment as I'm sharing it with you. And I hope that anything that we've talked about and offered in the truth of our offering has meant something for you. And you can pick and pull what you need for your life experience, and know that you've got the heavens with you every moment. You've got your soul's team and your guidance with you to reach out and share who you are, to reach out and create those beautiful collectives of light that we're all here to commune within, and create beautiful cities of light that we're meant to create through our truthfulness, through our sharing of who we are as beautiful spirits in human experience. And I've enjoyed sharing this time with you, and knowing that my truthful experience as Joanna and a multidimensional ambassador of peace, multidimensional ambassador of first contact, and moving humanity through these realms of unknown is what I've come to do. And I'm passionate about sharing who I am at a soul level, at a human level. I'm a mother of 3 beautiful children who are moving through their soul's ascension, and I see them growing and changing every day. The more truthful I am, the more happier they are. And moving through many, many beautiful soulful relationships that I've moved through, and now appreciating all of those relationships at a deeper, richer level. And my soul is, aching at this point, a personal sharing. My soul is now aching to commune with Soul Tribe. My soul is now aching to synchronistically be threaded with a soulmate, to be threaded with soul tribes that want to co-create and assist humanity in grand ways. And in that aching, those vibrations will come forward and reach me. And so that I can be that emulation and illumination for my kids. Because that's what I've impressed vibrationally, and we've talked about for so many years. Be your truth. Speak out what you need and what you're aching for as a vibration, and it will come to you. Not as a desperate need, but as this is who I am. I'm a co-creator of light. I'm a leader. I'm a teacher. I'm a healer, and I'm honoring all that I am. And those that so desire to co-create in this vibration, the highest frequencies of the heavens and the angels will align us. That's from the soul level. That's a heart level, and it can't be denied, because spirit is working on those levels, not at the egoic level, but it's at the soulful level. It's at that soul level that is within your heart, and those private communions and those private conversations with Source. Those threadings will be made. That is the divine orchestration, and it's done at that soul level. And so that's part of the integration and ascension awakening process, where you get real with yourself. What is it that I truly want? Who am I? And who do I want to thread with? Because again, these soul contracts were made at a highest vibrational level before you even got here. That as we move through this global collective ascension, I'm going to call on you, you, and you, and you. Are you in? Let's play. What do you need to work on? This is what I'm working on. Let's get together as souls so that we can co-create what we need to for Gaia, for the greater good. Our souls know what our souls are doing, but it's the human ego self that says, no, that can't be. And you're getting pulled back into fear and desperation and, doubt or anger. And anger can come in many, many levels. The sooner and the more that you're dealing with your energies in the emotional body, then it's not going to become a great imbalance, because we want to honor and respect all energies and all emotions, because it's the package of who we are, but we're here to be the vibration of balance and harmony, that oneness of source, this centeredness, this honoring of our own unique story. So that, and what's really important that they're showing me right now before I close off, is that as I'm dealing with that lineage issue, that it will no longer be passed down to my daughter, or my son, or my other son. It will be resolved. I choose to resolve this lineage issue now. All of those timelines of subjugation and being confined and, locked away, it's dealt with now. I deal with this now. I face this now. And they show up to us in these myriad of ways that are smaller and minor, but the subtle energies of what's going on underneath are with you. That's what my dream was showing me. You're not in charge of anything. Let it go. It's not your jam. You do your jam. You do you and I do me. It's a life force. We'll be threaded together. I trust God unconditionally. God's got my back. Source has my back. Spirit has my back. The universe is working for me. I just got to work on my vibration. I'm happy to be me. I'm truthful. It's who I am. This is me now. Now I'm me. As your kids wake up in the morning, are you different today? Yes, of course I am. Who are you today? Oh, I'm great. I'm awesome. Let's create. It was yesterday we were out getting sandwiches. And I was just in this, as I was when I was a kid. I would just act crazy. When I was a kid, I would just like be all goofy and act a little crazy and, just be really excited about life. I would feel the energy of Gaia and I would just want to play like a little fairy. And I was like that in the sandwich shop. And my daughter was like, Mom, you're embarrassing me. I'm just having fun. I'm just being me. It's just playing. That's who I am. It's me. I'm owning it now. It's me. Just me. And you got to own it. This is who I am now. I want to be playful. This is, life can be so short, especially when you're living it in, so much density, of not being who you are, not being truthful, not being playful, not owning your love within, owning your light. Yeah, I've got great light. Yeah, I've got this. Yeah, and my light. I'm loving it. I love who I am now. I love it. I'm truthful. And I'm sharing it for everyone, unconditionally. Unconditional, man. It's unconditional. 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 Oneness. So fun. Awesome. So we wanted to end that off with you, but we're going to do one quick card. This has been a long video, I know, but this is my first introduction of being more intimate, which I've never done in any of my videos, by the way. And I'm practicing being more me, practicing the authentic sharing. I've always held most of myself back. Very parts of my again, it's always balance. You don't need to, for me, this is just my opinion, to be fully transparent. That's the goal, is to be transparent, to know that yes, there are private and beautiful, sacred moments that I keep for me in spirit. And, a potential soulmate. It will be very private and sacred, but to be transparent in your allness, if you will. And we'll have to talk about that in another video, because it's something that is new to humanity. It's something that we've never experienced before. Transparency. Wow, this one really popped out. Oh my gosh, this is so amazing. Look at these two cards. Break the chains of lineage and mirroring. Oh my gosh, this is what we were talking about today in my dreams. And in the relationships that are transitioning and shifting, who is mirroring what to us, and why have we called them in? We've called them in for us to mirror our greater strength, our genuineness, our authenticity. What are they challenging us to look at? What are they challenging us to see about ourselves and accept fully? Full acceptance. That little tiny pebble of anger that was carried from lifetimes, or a disrespecting comment that was made to you in grade school, whatever it might be, you get to own that now and say, you know what? That wasn't my comment. That wasn't my belief. It doesn't even belong to me anymore. But these mirroring energies allow you to see what is bubbling up from the deep subconscious levels, because awakening is bringing everything that's subconscious to the light. That's what light does. It illuminates and say that you're beautiful. See, you've always been light. Someone else's belief, 10,000 lineages. This is who you've always been. This is your truth. That's your truth. Ancestral patterns, healing, and rewriting your future. This is what they were talking about, to be authentic, to be truthfully me as a soul, as a human. I'm from the heavens. I'm from the Pleiades. I've come with the Pleiadian star mother energy. But there's so much of my human experience that I'm here to heal ancestral patterns that are not me anymore. I don't have to carry that into the next lineage of the next generation. I'm going to show my daughter that as a divine feminine, and also balance that out for my kids. My kids, they see and they experience the divine male and the divine female in different ways. And I want to, for me, as my soul, it's important for me to balance those emulating energies of will and power with divine feminine nurturance of the emotional body, so that they can see that balance. And it's okay to have those emotional connections weekly, touch in, see what's going on. For me, as a healer and an energy worker, I do it daily, and I offer it to them daily. But of course, they're going through their awakening process, and oftentimes, especially as crystalline kids, they want that human experience, and they'll open and awaken in their own time, and it's not for us to, kind of push them and rush them along. Everybody will awaken in their own time. Your souls are meant to be together; they'll be together. You have this divinely orchestrated in any part in time to focus on the love. Be selective about the love. Be selective. I choose love today. No matter what, I see love. There is love within it, because all is love. Awesome. Thank you so much, dear lighted ones. I'm sending you love and light and joy, and trust all the heavens working with you on your behalf. The universe converges for you. Allow your core vibration of love to be your truth in all moments. Just say, I'm not sure about unconditional love. I've never experienced before, but I'm willing to express it with you today. I unconditionally accept you for who you are. This is who I am in my truth. Speak those words of unconditional love and authenticity, and just say, I'm working through this. Be honest and open. I'm working through this. I'm not sure how it's going to turn out. I don't have to be the master of it. I don't have to know it all. I don't have to fix it all, but I want to experience unconditional love. I want to speak my truth in a new way. Are you okay with that? And if you're not, that's okay, but I still will do it. Because that's my truth. Oh, that's too awesome. Okay, dear lighter ones, thank you for being a part of this very intimate ascension sharing. And we hope that you've had some love and grace in all of your day, and know that you're purely loved with Source Creator, and open up to be that unconditional vessel of love and let it flow. Bye.